You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, February 9th. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. And happy post-Super Bowl hangover. Hopefully you're feeling pretty good. We got a short week here ahead of us. Got a lot to get to. And, of course, everyone is waking up and recovering from a day that should be a national holiday, right? This
should be.
It's a conversation that happens each and every year. There's petitions going year round, be like, hey, Super Bowl Monday should be the day of rest for most of America because, everyone gathers around, overeats, sometimes overdrinks, and enjoys a big game. As congratulations to our 2026 champions, the Seattle Seahawks, who took down the Patriots.
Seattle kicker.
The Seattle kicker.
He didn't make most of the points.
Well, he did make most of the points. It wasn't all the points,
I know,
but yes, with a 29-13 win, they, Justin Spears was we predicted that it was going to be a defense heavy game, and that it was. In fact, actually, the first half was pretty much just 3 and out. I mean, for the Patriots, punting on every single possession, and Seattle being able to get 3 field goals in there. You would think that the field goal kicker would be the MVP, but it was not. It was the Seahawks running back, Kenneth Walker III, who was responsible for 135 yards on 27 carries, becoming the first running back to win the Super Bowl MVP award since Terrell Davis of the Broncos in 1997.
Wow.
That's how long it's been since running back has got the MVP honors.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but it was a defensive clinic on both sides for the most part. In the first half, especially second half, they opened it up, and Drake May, started slinging the ball, as they say. In fact, actually slinging was a term that I was hearing a lot. That's they coined that phrase, and it was very popular this year. Slinging on all different types. There was even a little Tom Brady clip where he was talking about how when he was in the Super Bowl and he had Drew Brees next to him as his backup quarterback, and they were the coach Belichick and his coaches were telling him to protect the ball. And Drew Brees turned to Tom Brady and said, "F that, sling it." Right. Now, in a way, and of course, Tom Brady slung it. They won the Super Bowl, and then it looked like Drew Brees was a genius. But in a way, I'm kind of skeptical because I'm like, maybe he was trying to get his job back.
Yeah, he's like, that didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Oops.
Hey, Tom, don't do what the coaches say. Do what I say, and it'll work out. And then he turned to Belichick. I can't believe he's slinging it, man. You told him to protect the ball, and this kid just slinging it. Put me back in, coach. Put me back in.
I accidentally inspired him.
Yeah, so.
Damn it.
But yeah, so he threw, Drake May ended up doing okay once the nerves settled in the second half.
Yeah, for a 16-year-old kid, he did all right.
Doesn't he look young? I mean, honestly.
He is like 22. Right?
He is. It was, I think, one of the youngest quarterbacks in Super Bowl history. But yeah, baby face for sure. Could not grow a hair on his face to save his life. But he threw for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But overall, it's the Seahawks. They edged out the Patriots in total yards, 335, compared to New England's 331. So it's crazy when you look at the stats. You would think it was a lot closer, right?
Right.
But watching the game, it just seemed one-sided.
Yeah, it was lopped.
Yeah, big time.
Oof.
Right. But at the end of the day, the tail of the tape is just actually, I guess they put in a pretty good fight. Supposedly, and of course, a lot of people were wagering, but Seahawks were an overwhelming favorite going into this, right, Rico?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What were the odds there?
Like 14-1. I don't know. I don't remember the exacts. I just know it was heavily favored towards the Seahawks.
To where you didn't even want to take the
yeah.
straight up, right? So you're like, I
Tempting.
don't want to bet $10 just to get $1 back, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go for the 10-leg parlays. That'll work out.
Right. So did you end up spending any money and gambling on the big game at all and making anything?
Marginal. It's like that thing where it's like, I'm not going to bet anymore. I keep losing. I'm like, well, it's just one more game.
Yeah, well,
it's just the Super Bowl.
it's the game. Well, the
Prop
majority
bets.
of Americans and novice bettors will bet on the Super Bowl more so than any other event throughout the entire
Right.
year. In fact,
It's
actually,
fun.
most Americans who only bet one time a year are betting that day a year as they sit around. And whether you're playing squares with friends or you just break out dust off the old betting app and then go in there. So what were some of the bets that you laid down?
Oh, just some of the parlays I can't recall. I'm like, oh yeah, that running back will definitely do this. That I'm like, no, it's just ridiculous. But the one I'm actually proud I didn't go for.
Okay.
The prop bet was what is it? The revenge of the 1 yard line sling from
Yes.
like they're gonna say it's gonna happen different this time. Go ahead and bet it. $1 wins 2,000.
Right. Of course.
I'm like,
Of course. Did you see any odds on a potential streaker? Because there was a streaker there
there
last
was
night.
one. I know I saw it post game. I was like, wow.
Well, if you recall, just a few years ago, and this went down as like an urban legend, but there was on the betting app, the odds for a streaker were very high. Like, it was unlikely to happen. And there was a guy out there who put $5,000 on a streaker happening and then streaked during the Super Bowl, right? So he basically put a $5,000 bet on himself that he was going to streak.
Right, insider trading.
Yes, and he ended up getting like $265,000 in return.
Jeez.
And he was arrested and had to pay for a $1,000 bond. And that story was going around again, recirculating, if you will, ahead of the Super Bowl, almost betting, like daring somebody to do it again. So did it happen again with the same kind of like MO? Potentially. The guy who streaked did have something written across his chest.
Oh God.
It was like trading a blind spot.
What?
That's what it said on his chest. He wrote "trade in the blind spot." So we'll go down the
interesting.
rabbit hole and see exactly
At
what
least
that
it wasn't
means.
sponsored by DraftKings.
Well, that's
You know,
another
big
thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Like DraftKings.
right? Yeah. He probably what a great way to kind of ensure advertisement on the biggest day of the year,
No
television.
kidding. Bob's Car Wash.
Yeah, if DraftKings said, "Oh, it's 101 odds," that somebody will streak saying "Bet on DraftKings"
Right.
written on their chest. I don't know that. I mean, they probably get in trouble for that. But yeah, trade in the blind spot. We'll try to figure out what that
Interesting.
means. But there was something there on that. But overall, pretty entertaining. And I hope you guys. Didn't have too much acid reflux at night in the old person status, right?
Oy.
hope you had a good time as we gear up, and now it's all just eyes forward into the void that is the sports season after the Super Bowl. I mean, we do have March Madness coming up. We do have the NBA playoffs and the finals coming up. So there are some things to look forward to on the sports front. And of course, the Olympics are happening right now. But I just checked with the TV ratings on that. It seems like nobody cares, but we'll see if they care after the Super Bowl. So we have a lot to get to today. Listener bait all week long. We're going to be giving away tickets for Black Label Society. We're also going to be giving away tickets for your Tucson Roadrunners. But to kick things off, let's start off with a little rock show action, huh? If you want to go to the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, I got a family 4-pack for you right now. 600 KFMA, 600-5362. Caller number 10. We'll pick up my first tickets of the morning, but not my last. So if you want that 4-pack of tickets for the Gem Show, call 600 KFMA right now. Be back with your morning. All right, we're live on the podcast broadcast. Joining us is Andrew from Nexus Occult, which we'll reintroduce here in a couple minutes. I see Patrick's question real quick. Are we going to do another March Sadness emo bracket this year? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes as we get in there. I know that a lot of our sales department is going to be focused on building up beef games. So that's what we're going to be doing for the events that's going to be at Union. So I'm very excited about that. And that will be the majority. I don't think we did March Sadness last year either. So, we did it for the first couple of years. It was good. And we'll revisit it maybe next year, maybe not this year. But
Short answer, no. Long answer, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I got this week. This is a short week. As I said in the show open, I'll be taking off on Thursday afternoon, going to San Francisco for the weekend, which, of course, was the site of the big game, the Super Bowl, over this past weekend. Beautiful weather, but apparently I won't be blessed with the same. It might be raining all weekend, but I'm still excited about that. And so with that, gearing into such a short month, I don't know if we'll have enough time to actually set up March Sadness properly. But maybe we'll do it with the streamers. Maybe it'll be a podcast thing as opposed to, like a stationed sponsored thing.
Mm-hmm.
Might be something I could be able to pull off, but we'll figure it out. If you guys want it, whatever. If you want it, you're going to get it. We're going to be talking about symbolism and the Olympics. So this is perfect timing here to have Andrew back in. And also Nexus Occult did a pop-up in Bisbee. And is this going to be a year-round pop-up?
Yeah. It's ongoing right now. So we opened it up in November, and it's going to be up there for at least, hopefully, all of 2026.
Shit, dude, you must have opened it up like right after we went, because we went during my birthday weekend, right? So that was like halfway through November.
Yeah,
when did you open?
Very end of November.
Yeah,
Like a week after, yeah.
We just missed out. Yeah. But Bisbee is like such a great place for that too, because
absolutely
of the history of that town and it being allegedly haunted and everyone having ghost stories from there.
Yeah, man.
And you have ghost stories from Bisbee.
Absolutely. I stayed at the Grand Bisbee, and at 3:00 in the morning, we wake up, the lights are flashing on and off. It smelled like the place was on fire because that place originally burned down a few decades ago. And we're hearing voices. There's tapping on the window. We're 2 floors up. My wife at the time was trying to pack up and leave. I thought it was great and terrifying, but it was insane.
That's why she's your wife at the time.
Exactly.
You're
That's
like,
right.
Was this the deal breaker in your head? Like,
no,
she can't even deal with ghosts. I'm out.
That was right. No, it was way worse other than things than that.
All right. Yeah, but that's funny. So yeah, you could attest to like that's the legit experience that
for
you
sure,
had.
man.
And that was one of the focal points, the centerpieces of the ghost tour in Bisbee was the Grand Bisbee.
Right.
They talked. I think we ended it there.
Right on.
Yes. As we walked around town, and I would actually recommend to anybody that goes down to Bisbee to take that ghost tour strictly for just the history lessons. I didn't see any dead ghosts. I saw living ghosts. But to walk around that whole town, you get your steps in.
That's right.
You know? Yeah. And as you get older, so like honestly, if I was younger, I'd be like, screw this. I want to just straight go to the bar. As I get older, I'm like, I want to learn about history. I want to walk around. So
Who
like
started this mining town?
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm like I said, I'm going to San Francisco this weekend. And one of the first things that we already booked was a tour of Alcatraz.
Nice.
Yes, dude. And it is nice. And I'm like,
we're both like, man.
I did Alcatraz as like a 10-year-old. And I hated that tour because it was like never ending. It was just all this walking and old shit. But now as an old man, I'm just like,
let's do it.
Let me get some history.
What are these bars made of?
Yes.
I would be like, where did Nicolas Cage escape?
I know.
That's my question.
In fact, actually, I'll probably watch it this week. Just get
nice.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast. There, you just heard the #1 song in the country, Return to Dust with Bored. Congratulations to the boys of Return to Dust. They were former guests on the podcast broadcast, and we hope to have them back in Tucson sometime soon. Now, joining us on the podcast broadcast, good friend. He is the owner of the Nexus book and occult store, right?
That's right.
His name's Andrew. Andrew, welcome back, brother.
Thank you for having me again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we were talking about haunted tours and tours in general, and Bisbee being a haunted place as well. He was sharing a ghost experience he had, but Nexus Occult actually has a pop-up in Bisbee.
That's right, at the Object Hotel.
The Object Hotel, yeah. So, and then with that, is that like in the lobby, is a little side thing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they have a giant store that's on the old Bisbee Main Street, and above the store is the actual hotel. And so all the hours are on our website, nexusoccult.com, but at the store itself, we actually have a whole paranormal travel section.
Yeah.
And it has all the different states, international as well. So if you're going on a trip, you could stop by and pick up a book on any state that has all their paranormal history. It's really fun.
Whoa.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So if you wanted to make that part of your like summer vacation plans, and you like doing like when I went down there, we did the Bisbee Ghost Tour, and that was fascinating. It was a fun way to explore the town as well and get history of that said town. And then there's basically like that all over the country. And we have books for all that. Yeah. Also, so we're going to be talking about the Olympics and symbolism in the Olympics. As we know, the Olympics been around for a long time, but is there, symbolism throughout all of the things that we see on the modern day Olympics? That's what we're going to break down with Andrew. But also, we got Valentine's Day right around the corner. You brought some gifts for us, right?
I brought you a spell candle for breaking up.
Yes, hold this up.
Yeah,
okay.
Breaking up lovers. Yeah.
Yes.
This is perfect.
Yeah, so you sell this at Nexus.
That's right.
Okay, so this is a spell candle. So basically, what would I do if I wanted to try to make this spell happen in real life? Because I do, and there is, I'm coming for somebody right now.
Right on. So lighting the candle by itself is just not enough. It's great to include a picture. If you got hair, that's also a really nice thing to put underneath it.
Luckily, I have both. Yes,
I love it. So yeah, you're gonna light this. You'll light it for a week, and this is a great way to help do some witchcraft witchcraft on if you really want to separate somebody and go after that new partner of yours.
Wow.
And we're sold out this week.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know.
$10.
What a great gift to give for Valentine's Day, especially if you know someone who recently just broke up.
Exactly. Here you go,
Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
yes, you got to stop by Nexus Occult. But we're going to talk about that and more on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stick around because coming up next, symbolism and the Olympics right after Yas Spring's gone away on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Yeah, that's funny. I don't have the hair, actually. I'd have to be a special kind of freak to still have hair. And
Hey, I don't judge, man.
Yeah, no, I
don't
know.
kink shame.
I know. You should have came after me like, a couple years ago.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right?
but,
Well, they leave their hairbrush behind, a hair tie,
Yeah, I would have all that stuff. By now, after it takes a couple years to have a good cleanse of all the
Right.
stuff from the previous person in your life,
Like asking ChatGPT, do pubes count? Is that
Right,
going to be
yeah,
good for the
absolutely,
application?
they do.
You have a jar of that?
A jar of pubes.
Mind your business.
No, I just watched that movie Weapons recently. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Did you see that one?
No, I don't think I have, but it just
It's-
recently won a bunch of awards, right? Weapons. Who's
I don't
in
know
it
about
again?
awards. Well, I know Josh Brolin's in there. It's like that. The
Right.
villain's like that creepy redheaded witch lady.
Right.
But there's a scene. I mean, not to spoil, kind of to spoil. There's like incantations done in
Right.
that movie.
That's
with,
using
with hair,
witchcraft to control, yeah.
to mind
Okay.
control a lot of stuff
Mhm.
going on. It's really creepy.
Yeah,
Well
no,
executed movie,
I'm not familiar with it,
but definitely a horror movie classic, a new one.
Nice. All right. Well, let me get this. I got to balance out my commercials here. And earlier this morning, Yaz came in late, but she did come in. And then we did Morning Moron, which includes video of a guy I probably would have been friends with if I stayed in New Jersey. In case you missed it, it went like this. Real quick before I get into Morning Moron, give me a roll call of what you drank last night.
I had 2 palomas
Okay.
and I think 2 Mexican candy shots.
There it is.
That's it.
Those
That's it.
shots, though. Homemade, were you out?
Yeah. So we quote unquote caught the first half, and then like 5 minutes before, we're like, we need to go find a place that has a big TV because I want to watch
The Super Bowl
the
halftime show.
the halftime show like it's a concert.
Yeah.
So we went to Chelas downtown, which honestly, the vibe, the owner's very nice. I loved it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get more into that, including the halftime, the hidden messages that were in the halftime show with Bad Bunny. Yeah, there was hidden messages of love, peace, and love, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset by that as well. So we'll get into all that here soon. But first, it's 6:17 and time for your Morning Moron. All right. Now, this story, I want you to guess the age of this Morning Moron here. It's in Idiot, New Jersey, right? Now, this is where my family's from, right? I have lineage from New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey. Yes, I'm a Jersey boy, technically. All right. And so this would have been my friend, potentially. Now, someone called 911 last week after they saw the roof of a truck sticking out of the ice. This is not good, right? That's always a bad thing. The rest of the truck was submerged. Now, they didn't know if anyone was in the truck or not. So, they're like, hey, you might want to...
Yeah, that's the first thing you go check. Be like, is somebody in there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Somebody might be dead in the lake there. Now, luckily, nobody was in the truck. Thankfully, the person who was driving the truck made it out and just left the truck there. Okay. Now, it happened near Eagleswood, New Jersey, just up the coast from Atlantic City. Again, this was the area I was born in. The mayor called this stupidity at its finest. And now, it turns out, and there's video that I'll be able to show here on the stream. It turns out that a guy was driving a truck and it was like, you know what I want to do right now? I want to do some donuts on that frozen lake over there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they say it like, there's an accent, but it's a New Jersey thing. He's like, I don't even have a Jersey accent. What can I do? Right? You got an East Coast
God
accent
bless
for
them.
me. Come
There's
on.
a little Italian.
Yeah,
little
give me
Italian.
an Italian accent. Say, I want to do some
I'm gonna
donuts
do some
over
donuts
there.
over there.
Yeah, there
Let's
you
go do some donuts.
All right, so yeah, that's
Ice donuts.
you're seeing video.
Oh my gosh.
of a man doing donuts. And the thing with donuts and, just driving
Yeah.
around on tires in general,
Took a bite.
you're creating heat. And that heat was enough for them to be able to melt through the ice right
I mean, that's a
Wow.
fun ass 5 seconds
Yeah, I guess.
until that happens.
Now, there's no word on the maker model, but it's an average full-size pickup, weighs about 3 tons.
Oh my gosh.
They haven't released the guy's name. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Interrupt that Morning Moron clip that we were playing on the podcast broadcast to get back here and talk about the Olympics. But the thing is with the Olympics, and the Olympics been around for several hundred years. What what a great way for other countries to kind of unite through the spirit of competition, right? But there's also tons of symbolism that are through the Olympics, not only the origin and the beginning of the Olympics, but all the way through the modern day Olympics, right? Andrew from Nexus Occult, he knows all about this type of stuff, symbolism in general. You know what I mean? There's symbolism in modern day, products that are all over the place. You talk about Starbucks and Monster. They have their symbolism in there that
Your
the internet
money.
will point out.
That's right.
Money, of course. I mean, if you look at the back of a dollar bill and you're high, that can take you days to try to decipher all that.
Right.
And what does it even mean? But yeah, I did not know beyond the Olympic rings, right, of what other potential symbolism may be. Give us some examples of things that we would want to look out for in modern day Olympics that would kind of have symbolism hidden throughout.
Right. So one of the first things right off the bat is that all-seeing eye. Like you just pointed out, it's on the back of the dollar bill. That represents that you are under surveillance constantly, not just from a government aspect, but from a metaphysical aspect. That there is always someone watching. And then they had the inverse of the star, the pentagram, pointing down as opposed to pointing up,
Right.
pointing down to hellfire. It's with you constantly.
Really? Yeah. And that's, this has been around forever. I mean, it's on the dollar bill too. So, so essentially, does that mean like Lucifer's been staring at, like watching us in the shower?
A
this
little
whole
bit,
time?
but I mean, then you kind of have to get back in between Lucifer and God of the Old Testament, the old school God versus kind of Gnostic text. Is the old God of the Old Testament really the bad guy, and Lucifer was the good guy, the light bearer? That's what Lucifer means, light bearer, bringer of knowledge. Where if you read the Old Testament from especially the Gnostic perspective, he was bad. The God of the Old Testament smiting children left and right, not kind of a benevolent thing,
Right.
So I think that's kind of a big argument in the cult. Is the God of the Old Testament is not necessarily the God of the New Testament.
Right. Yeah. So we're pulling up some images here. What are we seeing here, Rico?
the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, the Winter Olympics in northern Italy. It says nothing but a display of dark occult symbolism resembling satanic rituals. Because you do have that opening lighting with the sort of inverse pentagram, like two of them combined, cauldrons.
Can you click on that? Make it full screen for me.
The ISR on?
Yes. Okay. Well, I don't need the sound effect along with it. Jesus,
Hey,
trying
man,
to freak
trying to help
me
with the
out,
theater
man.
here.
Yeah. All right. So explain this imaging right here that you're seeing, Andrew.
Right. So again, they have the eye dead center, and then like we said, you have the pentagram. The pentagram points down where the pentacle points up. And so that's when it's down, you're drawing power down beneath you to the abyss. And so that's typically a good symbol for good old Lucifer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you have the Masonic arches happening.
That's
too,
right. Yeah.
Right there, the two columns.
See, you're familiar with the Masonic
too much.
arch.
Don't get me started.
Right. The 33 degrees.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, I'm still playing catch up on all this stuff. Now, this was the shot on the left, really? It was an actual shot from the Olympics? or is that like a doctored shot?
No, that's all.
No, that's
real.
the actual,
That's
yeah.
real.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that does look like something straight out of hell.
Yeah.
That's like hellfire. Like
Right?
they're hiding in plain sight type deal,
CNN
right?
on the bottom. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, it's all
okay.
around us everywhere. I mean, yeah, it's kind of nuts. Like the Gmail envelope, that's a kind of Masonic apron when you look at it. It's just everywhere.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, don't type in Google or Twitter. Yeah, occult symbolism in everyday life. You'll go down a rabbit
There are
hole.
too many
Yeah,
rabbit
well,
Honey,
holes.
I'm on lunch
Yeah.
break. Hold on.
Right?
What are some other things that we're going to be looking out for as far as symbolism throughout the Olympics and stuff? I mean, we saw the opening ceremonies, obviously. I mean, that looks spooky as all hell. And of course, the internet's having a field day with all this stuff. Some other things that are kind of cliche or trope at this point that you've seen in the past?
Well, yeah, there's the one they had last year with the Dionysus, the whole the kind of what people called it the mocking of the supper, the Last Supper.
Yeah.
And that offended some people. I don't necessarily agree
right
that it was 100%, but I mean, they have the dichotomy between men and women, and then the supposed mocking of the Last Supper. I don't know if it's necessarily
art.
that. Yeah, right. I think it's
right.
open to interpretation, really.
Yeah. Right. So, Yeah, so we're talking symbolism in the Olympics with Andrew from Nexus Occult. For those just joining us here on the podcast broadcast and the opening ceremony in particular, it is interesting that you do see the downward pentagram. I mean, it's right there with everything else. What other things does the pentagram mean, though, in other cultures?
Well, actually, the pentagram, excuse me, so sorry. The pentagram represents the four elements plus self. So even actually the pentagram was actually used pentacle was actually used in early Christian symbolism.
Okay.
Before it was kind of bastardized and now it's kind of a scary symbol for people who don't know anything. But pointing up represents kind of glory going up, ascension, pointing down, descension into the abyss to hell. At least that's how some people,
interpret it.
It's like perversions of things that were sacred at one point.
Right.
Almost like the swastika.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. All right. Yeah.
You got the covering of the eye,
Yep.
Leaving that one eye open. When they hold their fingers out in threes, 3 and 6, sometimes they'll cover the mouth as well, the silence.
Oh, wow. They're even throwing Bad Bunny in this.
There you
All
go.
right,
He's
so-
definitely in there.
All right. That's all Illuminati stuff.
He's a bad bunny.
Yeah.
All
Now
right.
there's Moloch for you.
Who's Moloch?
Moloch, Canaanite god. Yeah, they would sacrifice children to Moloch.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Moloch is actually pretty popular right now with all the releasing and the
That's
conversation
right,
of
those
Epstein.
files.
Yes,
That's right.
yes,
He's mentioned
okay.
many times in
Yeah.
those emails.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Moloch is mentioned many times. I mean, not as many times as
The other
another
guy.
name. Yeah. But,
Right.
Still, it's the
He's
two.
getting his clicks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough. Those are the two most popular names in that.
Right.
When you go search it. Interesting. Yeah. So we'll talk more about this on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Also, shout out to Todd and congratulations to your Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl, which I'm sure there's symbolism behind that as well. We'll figure that out. But you can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stick around because we got music on the way from Volbeat and Green Day and Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah. So, I'm not well versed in this stuff at all, obviously. So I'm just like, oh,
There's nothing like a 101 breakdown of certain things. Like, ooh, they haven't heard this part? Yeah, just you wait.
yeah,
You're gonna see some things.
Have you been following the Epstein files and everything that's been going on?
A little bit.
Release?
I think the great part about it is that people have been screaming about this for years, and they were always the crazy conspiracy
Yeah.
people.
Right.
But they're, the fact that there just might be a Luciferian cabal truly at the top of the food chain here that are harming and killing children for political and monetary gain.
And
Absolutely.
Spiritual, too.
Yeah, and spiritual,
Yeah.
correct.
Deeply
Yeah.
occult
Yeah,
and
no,
spiritual.
it's crazy. Like what jerky is a code word, right?
Mhm, that's
So
right.
Makes
Yeah.
you look at jerky a different way.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove, which we knew about Bohemian Grove, but even when I saw the video that Alex Jones released back in the day,
Yeah.
it looked like just kind of like a nerdy elite cosplay.
Right.
It didn't like a quasi play of sorts where it's like, okay, I could see it's like, is it like, are they actually doing it or are they
Right.
pretending to do it for the sake of fucking ritual and like fraternal, like
Sure.
fraternity type of reenactments
Sure.
and stuff? Because nerds, they'll do nerdy shit,
Right.
and it
They
seems
do
like,
burn an effigy of a child through that. It's called the cremation of care ceremony. There's a 40-foot stone owl, which represents, again, Moloch.
yeah.
And that's the burning of the child, that the effigy of the child that they go through. Again, is that symbolizing of a child, a pure spirit, a pure soul, to destroy that with fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but that's what they did. But even with Bohemian Grove and that, there wasn't an actual child in it, or that I saw.
At least
Right.
that, not that we know of.
Right,
No,
not
yeah.
that we
I
know
mean,
of.
of course, rumors and stuff. It's an all-male club,
Right.
and it has a lot of the top people in politics in the business world. Reagan, Nixon. I mean, those Bush. They were all part of Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, and W.
Yeah, that's
W
right.
was prominent in there, which was
Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
That's right,
Richard.
Skull and Bones.
Yes, which I mean, there's been many different like movies and
Mhm.
fiction about it, touching on it, right?
Sure.
But of course, there's a lot of reality behind it too, and that's what we're discovering here with
Right.
the Epstein files.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Epstein. He wasn't a part of any of these clubs.
Not
was
that I
he?
know of, no. But the problem too is that if you sort of see some of the artwork that kind of has escaped from that of what they're doing to these poor children is just unspeakable. And then you had like Podesta, the artwork in his home that they've talked about showing children in bondage, and it's awful.
Right.
I mean, like, it's hard to even comprehend something so heinous.
Right. And it's hard to defend that as well. Be like,
Right.
oh, it's art. Because I mean,
No.
I like music. So you come to my house, right? And I have like paintings of like vinyl records and
Right.
things like that. That's what that sparks my interest, right?
Yeah.
Because I have art that's up there that sparks my interest.
Sure.
My uncle, he would sketch like naked women, right? Artistically.
Sure.
And then you go to his house and he'd have those sketches up there. He'd like naked women,
Right.
right? And then full on like, stenciled bushes and things that were age appropriate naked women.
Yeah.
And that's what he was into. So yeah, to have like children in bondage, it would be
Right.
hard to say, like as
Oh, you
far as
don't
the
get it.
art,
Right. Yeah. You
You
know.
don't get it. It's
right.
It's allegory.
It's not
Like,
a
what?
Rorschach,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Or
no,
whatever,
not
right?
at all. Like,
Yeah.
Balenciaga. I mean, that brand, and when you break that down, that breaks down to Baal is good. King Baal, who's one of the kings of hell,
Yeah.
and somebody else that you would sacrifice children to. And they had a whole pedophilia scandal within their advertising as well.
Jesus.
No.
I know. Things 10 years ago, people are like, you're crazy. Now they're like, wait, maybe you're
Hang
onto
on a
something. It's
second,
like,
you
oh,
know?
okay.
Yeah. But even with this stuff,
Vindication is not always a good thing. It's just like,
Correct,
damn,
right?
well, finally people are starting to
Didn't want to
open
be
up.
right about that.
Yeah, exactly.
right. And do you think that's the reason why they want to redact so much and continue to redact so much is because not necessarily some names that are directly tied, but really the revelation of these organizations
Right.
and what their power may be. And then what can be the power, is the Nexus Occult and stuff like that for doing all these rituals and stuff. You can argue that success has followed a lot of the people that participate
For
in this,
sure.
but could they potentially achieve that success without having to go through all these kind of
Right, exactly.
things,
But these
right?
are hyper successful people, not just like rich people, but there's a difference between rich and powerful.
Right.
These are both,
Right.
and these are trilateral commission people, the Council of Foreign Relations. These are the people, the puppeteers that make the world go round.
Right.
You know?
Trilateral commission.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bilderberg
Yeah.
people. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah. That is. Let's see. Todd said Rico is too innocent for this crazy talk.
This Todd doesn't know me
You're
that
gonna be
well.
radicalized by this.
I don't know
Rico's
about
not
that.
wearing pants right now, Todd.
Yeah, he's excited to talk about this. I will say that I will dispute one thing. There was a picture that was going viral on X where what looked like a person that was kind of like basted like a turkey, right? And people sitting around about to eat it. That was actually from the movie, the horror movie Thanksgiving.
Oh.
But
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Okay.
right. And you're saying, oh my God, see, they're eating people like this. Look at this turkey. That doesn't look like a turkey. That looks like a human being. And it absolutely was.
Right.
But it was also from this fictional movie.
Right.
And that was a shot from the set
Yeah.
of them before him to do that. So,
Trolling at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's going to be easy to deceive a lot of people.
sure.
Because the amount of files to go through is an obscene amount, right?
For sure.
You're talking
Over
millions of
3
pages.
million so
Right.
far, just in this last dump.
Right. And a lot of it was still redacted.
Still redacted, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's so upsetting because I think they just say redaction to protect the victim.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if you redact a few names, fine, but there's whole pages.
Yeah.
Like just the to and from on the email is redacted. There's
Yeah.
no need for that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to know that to and from. In
Mhm.
fact, actually, they found out and they pointed out that the phrase Don T
Mhm.
was automatically redacted because they redacted the word don't.
Don't.
I swear to God, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was an accidental
We're taking
redaction.
no
because,
risks.
Again,
No, yeah.
the one thing that you could bet on this, regime, or as far as the people in charge of releasing all these, is that they are fucking incompetent, and
Yes.
they continue to showcase that on an expert level,
Right.
And the way that they release and then redact and then retract and then re-release and then redact, and the
Right.
whole thing is just like, oh,
What's
man.
interesting too, I think I was laughing because it's the whole Clinton allegation too. I mean, obviously, that's not hiding much.
Huh?
But the fact that I guess he went out there and made that post allegedly about all right, you want me to come? I think the public needs a full discourse, like full, unrestricted talk about things. It's almost very interesting for us plebes to watch these megalomaniac billionaires and trillionaires and power mongers
Right.
try to still fight each other at the
For
top.
sure.
It's like watching dragons fight. You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
watch this, going to throw each other under the bus,
Yeah,
who's going to come out cleaner kind of thing.
Yeah, both Bill and Hillary have publicly stated that they're ready to testify before Congress.
Like,
but then
really?
the GOP said, okay, we want that testimony behind closed doors. And they're like, no. So like, if you're going to do it, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Right? We're all going down, baby.
Right. Do it the old-fashioned way. Remember back in the day, in the 60s, when we had television, they would have these, historic cases where it's the people being, like Congress interrogating the subjects in front of peers.
Everybody,
right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's the way they want to do it. And it's like, yeah, do that.
Exactly.
But of course, now the president's kind of walking back his previous criticism of Bill Clinton.
Like,
and
Bill's a cool guy, right? He's a good guy. We had a great barbecue.
He gets me. He understands me, is what he said. And it's just like, yeah, that's why you don't want him testifying in front of everybody. I get it. It's crazy.
Slick Willie.
It's crazy. What is the most shocking, considering that you kind of known about this kind of, these practices in the past and, being well-versed in all of that. What's been the most shocking from any of this, or if any of it's been shocking?
No, it really I mean, as a parent, I mean, I have 3 children. I wouldn't, the idea that someone could harm a child, I can't wrap my head around that. I mean, I just don't understand. And it's not, it's harm in the worst possible way. All the time, a lot of times. And there's a great book called The Franklin Cover-Up that talks about them flying kids in from a place called Boys Town into Washington, D.C. This has been going on for so long.
The Franklin scandal.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's not necessarily a left or a right thing. People need to get that through their heads. It's an all of them thing.
Right.
There's no side to take on this. It's that the whole political landscape is corrupt. It's in the worst way possible.
The George Carlin quote, "It's a big club. And you're not in it."
Yeah. And that's always kind of been my feeling and stance as well when it comes to this political theater and tribalism and stuff. Right. It's like, no, they're both fucking us.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's pretty rough and really transparent, and it's unfortunate. But some people are figuring it out, and then there's some people that aren't, or doubling down on.
Yeah, what's wild is like meditating on the fact you go back to they say if you observe the 2012 with Wall Street, what is it? Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street, yeah.
Like that was the first time in like recent history where the people kind of collected together regardless of who they were, and realized the bankers were screwing them over. And then from that point forward, we noticed that timeline of like identity politics.
Correct.
Take the forefront. Right. And sort of like make the agendas happen. Like, okay, now we're going to pit them against each other.
That's the first time.
Exactly. The racism and all that kind of stuff kind of coming to the forefront versus like us versus them as class structure.
Yeah, no, that's the first I heard that connection of, post-Occupy, where identity politics became, even more polarizing. Right. That's interesting. And that does make sense. Now, Occupy, I was there documenting the entire thing. I had friends who were Advent believers. I was frustrated by the whole cause because it didn't, because I didn't see. No, there wasn't any leadership. There wasn't any kind of direction. Right. There wasn't an end game. It's like, yes, the point of Occupy is a great point. And, hey, these people at the top aren't sharing. And I get that. But just sitting in a park.
Right.
Is
in
not
a drum circle playing.
You're not doing anything. No. Yeah, you're not doing anything. You're just wasting time and then not necessarily pushing the cause forward. Right. And Occupy also had this, at the time, it made sense to them, said, look, we don't have a leader in this movement, which is like, okay, that's great and all, but you also don't have direction. Without a leader, you lack direction. And, I'm not saying you should mobilize, but I just saw the absurdity in it. And I was like, I felt like nothing would get done, and nothing got done. Yep. And obviously they just continued their stranglehold. But since then played the psyops and then pitted us against each other. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Oh, the rabbit hole we're going down. And it's a fun one too. But let's see. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's palate cleanser of some stuff. There are developments here in the Savannah Guthrie case. Unfortunately, nothing too breaking yet. Nancy has not been found yet. We know that. The Guthrie family, Savannah in particular, has agreed to pay the ransom. Said, hey, we'll do that. Apparently, there was keywords in there as well in the video stating to the alleged kidnappers. Now, they are saying there's catastrophic police prediction about this, and insiders are laying bare full extent of incompetence and fears about smoking gun in this case. Incompetence from the sheriff's department here. I know that they recently also searched a septic tank on property.
That's right.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, yes. Which would be even more unfortunate. They're pointing fingers at the sheriff, our local sheriff.
Yeah.
Now, on a national scale, they're like, hey, let's look at Tucson and see how well, all the everything's working here. And it's like, we've been underfunded and short-staffed massively for a long time.
Yeah.
And to put a microscope over this town and be like, are they going to be able to handle this magnitude of a case? And the short answer being no should be surprising to nobody within Tucson, right?
See, we're used to missing cats being called in up here. It's oh man.
Right.
Oh.
And so none of that is kind of,
it's a bad look for Tucson.
It is a bad look. But if anything from this bad look, hopefully something good could come out of it to be like, okay, maybe we'll relook at, where funding has been going, where we've been lacking, and be able to fix that. But the problem is, the lack of how many police officers we have. And I'm not advocating a police state, but, you counter that with the amount of activity we be giving them on the streets.
Yeah.
And it makes for a very overwhelming position and stuff. I've talked to several police officers in person, right? Because, everyone's an individual to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to generalize groups at all, because I think that's where you could get into
It's
trouble,
dangerous,
where things get murky, and it's easy to vilify a group. And you talk to an individual, everyone has their individual stories. And I've talked to police officers off the record that say, man, we're so short-staffed to begin with. And then say someone calls out sick or goes on vacation, and then that compounds. And this is why you'll call 911 for something, and then we won't respond for 3 days.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's department is just like that too. So this is what we're being showcased on a large scale.
Sadly enough, part of me is kind of hoping when the feds come down here and they're like, man, these roads.
Yeah, right.
We should really do something about these.
It's
bad down here. We're like, really? Thank you guys. Like, please,
let's just slow down our investigation. We're about to get on
blow 3 axles, got 5 flats. We're trying to find this lady. What the hell you guys got going on down here?
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. All right,
just saying.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We got more after music for Nirvana. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. Clear. What's some of the latest that you've heard on this? So where you because I don't want to speculate, right? And I mean, obviously there's already theories of potentially because in any scenario when it comes to a domestic situation like this, it's very domestic. Right. It's usually for someone close, to the victim, right? And so people have speculated that as well. That's something I'm just uncomfortable even throwing out there on the airwaves.
Yeah. Well, of course.
As things get more, because you don't want any liability come on there, and actually no witch hunt. And of course you're going to get in there and be like, this person looked less sad than that person.
Right, exactly. You nitpick and Monday morning quarterback that all you want, but kidnappings happen either for revenge or profit.
Yes.
And it's hard to know it's not looking good. I mean, the woman's 84 years old.
84, and it's already been over a week.
And they already
no medication, the pacemaker.
Yeah, the whole thing, right? And the reality is when her pacemaker disconnected from her smartwatch, that could have been it there. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because I remember back in the day, we had kidnapping, things like this. It was televised, but a lot of us were just waiting for the official reports to come in or the officials to tell us, but now we're also Netflix brained.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, wait, look at that stone right there.
Yeah, I know.
And that blend drum.
That's what did it.
Yeah. We're all just detectives now.
I know.
It's pretty interesting.
I know. All right, let's hit a reset here on the stream, but we got more, and we're looking forward to that. But we also had to cover a bunch of stuff post Super Bowl, right? We talked about all the great commercials and, of course, the halftime show in particular as well. In case you missed it, one little something like this. Check it out.
I mean, I mentioned earlier there was the love thy neighbor and positivity and everything. And I was like, is this a Jesus commercial? You always see those.
Yeah.
Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket.
Like, thank you, mortgage company.
Which is like they're owned by Fidelity, so it's like, really, Fidelity?
Yeah.
This is what? Okay.
Yeah. That's
You might all be broke because of us, but be nice to each other.
yeah.
Be nice.
He's like, hey, when it comes to this housing market, you're gonna have to move into some pretty questionable areas. Start loving your neighbor now.
Start loving
them. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, because you're not gonna have a choice. And so,
Did you notice the other commercials? I mean, that and the show, like John Bon Jovi for no reason whatsoever. Well, is he from the area?
no, he's from New
That's
Jersey.
what I was gonna say.
legendary.
Like he was like inserted into like so many commercials and like little side bits. I was like, how much money did Bon Jovi pay?
He did have living here. Let's see. This was an all-star. State Farm did this ad, and it was great because it starred Keegan-Michael Kay and Danny McBride, who led an off-key sing-along with Harry Steinfeld and John Bon Jovi, which it was his song. Let's listen to it a little bit here.
So this is technically trespassing.
This is illegal.
Okay, right.
There's damage to your home on this block. We will make things right, because filing a claim is tough.
Can't I just do it in an app or call an agent?
No luck. So forget what we told you. It ain't worth squat. It doesn't make a difference if you're happy or not. We got coverage. That's freaking hotline thumb. Hey, buddy, don't touch that spot. Chorus.
What are you pointing at?
Cat's eye.
Oh, Cat's Eye.
Take you up there. It's full of hot air. Whoa! There ain't this long hair.
2-minute commercial. So
Yeah.
the unedited version is 2 minutes.
Oh
Of
my
course,
God.
you only saw 30 seconds of the Super Bowl, but you could watch the extended version on YouTube for sure. But it does star a little bit of everybody. And Danny McBride is always pretty solid.
I
And,
love him.
yeah, so that was kind of like the rundown of the best Super Bowl commercials that happened over the 60. And overall, like, we've had years. There have been a lot of misses. This year it just felt like a lot of hits, like they were nailing it. So it looks like the marketing departments and the teams out there were doing a lot of like ayahuasca and to open up their minds and kind of be like, what people like? Songs from 30 years ago.
Yep. They'll love it.
Yes.
And let's shoehorn in some more AI and tech stuff.
Let's
do it.
The whole theme of all the commercials was nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we're all old now, but remember when?
Things didn't suck.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Somebody went in those meetings and said, you know what? I'm the owner of this, and this is what we're gonna do. And then every Gen Z and millennial went, all right,
All right, yeah.
let's do
You
it.
signed the checks.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
these kids got to sing Backstreet Boys all over again,
Yep.
which sucks. I thought we were past that part as a society.
Where's NSYNC?
I know. All right, let's hit the reset. We got more Beef Vegan Presents coming up after music from the White Stripes. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. In studio, we got ESPN's Justice Spears joining us here as we talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. Two of them. Americans were blessed with a choice or just actually a little bit of extra entertainment. On one side, you had a 35-minute spectacular that, was choreographed and aired on YouTube. And on the other half, you had a 400-person event that captured not only the entire essence of a show, but just the magnitude of how well the Super Bowl is at putting on these type of events. The fact of the matter is to throw this huge halftime show that Bad Bunny executed for 13 minutes within that window of halftime, where they have about 10 minutes to set up, 10 minutes to break down,
Not even
13 minutes to perform.
Crazy.
Right, less than that. And the NFL has strict guidelines when it comes to, what could go on the field. They were only allowed to have, I think, 25 carts, right? Which are like wheels to bring in everything as far as, all the props and staging.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was, this is great too. This is so it's ingenuity at its finest, right? They're like, okay, here's our problem. Now, what's our solution, right? So the problem was the NFL's like, look, dude, with this turf and everything, 25 carts with turf wheels, that's all you can get, no matter what. And they're like, okay, but we have all these like sugarcane fields that we need to bring out. They're hefty. What do? Oh, we'll just put people in them.
I love it.
And have 180 people dressed as sugarcane, dude.
Solved.
Like that kind of like stuff.
So
when
funny.
you see the behind the scenes aspect of this, and there's reels, and we'll show that here a little bit later in the podcast broadcast, the showcase how like so many people can execute such a large, huge. This is bigger than any stadium show on a touring level. To be able to do that and execute it and make it look as good as it did right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts here on the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny here, Justice Spears?
My guy put on a show.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell he was saying.
Nope.
Not a clue.
Yeah.
But if you look at the dancing, how he was performing, how he was moving on stage, he put on one hell of a show, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Like, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds good.
Exactly.
You know?
But I also don't know what ball with the ball, the bang, diggy diggy is, what Kid Rock is saying. You know
Yeah,
what I
I didn't
mean?
know
So,
that.
I'll tell you what it means.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Off air.
All right, this is a real palate cleanser. Yeah, that's right.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? All right, getting back on the air here. This is a legit question. Rock 102.1 KF, man. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I had to redefine what a palate cleanser is. And so I switched my attention to the streaker in yesterday's Super Bowl who had a message on his chest. Did you see this? Did you notice the message? Typical bro right here. This guy obviously, is on a decent diet and works out. And, I miss the days when streakers used to go all out.
Yeah.
Right? Taking your shirt off shouldn't be called streaking.
No.
If you still got pants on, if you're being modest, you're not streaking, bro.
Literally half-assing it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, at the very least, wear a thong and look ridiculous. Not look like, hey, I worked out. I just freshly waxed.
I eat well.
Yeah.
Buy my crypto coin.
But he wrote, and I'm still trying to figure this out. And if you guys know on the stream what it means, trade in the blind spot, right? Trade in the blind spot was written on his chest. Now, with that, I instantly start thinking about the streaker just a few years ago who notoriously or famously bet that there was going to be a streaker. The odds against someone streaking a Super Bowl were astronomically high. It was a long shot. And so he bet $5,000 that somebody would, and then he did. And he was able to cash in $265,000 from that $1,000 or $5,000 bet and then pay the $1,000 bond. I mean, that's all net profit.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Smart. Now, did this guy do the same thing? Or was he paid by some kind of like Bitcoin trading app to get some free advertisement on the big game? Now, he did get tackled by that player there. And then, of course, to add to the chaos, the security waddled out on the field. And as they were, going off the field, one of the security guards actually got an injury and he had to be carried off the field. So
my question was for the betting apps. Does that count as a tackle?
Right.
That guy, does that count towards the stats?
It should.
Right. You would
Totally
think.
should. Yeah.
Good
Here's
question.
some internet insanity, some things that happened. The Super Bowl insanity. So here's some things that happened here worth noting. There was, of course, the Super Bowl streaker. It wasn't shown on NBC. And it happened in the fourth quarter, and it was Kyle Williams who helped chase him down. And so someone bet $250,000 on the coin toss 40 minutes before the game.
Jeez.
It was probably Drake.
Well, probably.
Yeah. Caesar's Palace said somebody bet $250,000 or $253,000 on that, and they picked heads, and they were right. And so they won their money back plus $245,000.
Nice.
Which is crazy too, because it's literally 50-50, but they don't
Right.
give you 50-50 odds, right? It's
Right.
slightly less. Like there's a long shot that it will land on its side. Right?
Could you imagine?
Oh,
It's
dude,
like,
I'd be pissed,
right?
right? If you're losing a coin flip bet
Right.
to the fact that like a physical impossibility
It's the double
happens.
zeros on roulette when you bet a number. You're like, oh, come on.
Well, double zero is statistically going to happen
Yeah,
1 in
yeah,
37
yeah.
rolls. I mean, that's just,
I know.
That's
This is a
okay.
feeling.
Thank you.
Yeah, a little beautiful mind there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, continuing though, let's see other crazy bets. SB Nation did a rundown on how some of the other props bets would work out. The national anthem was under 2 minutes. All right. Bad Bunny did over 11 and a half songs. So in 13 minutes.
Whoa. Wow.
He
Didn't know
did.
that.
Yeah, dude, that's impressive. Like I said, the entire mix of the Super Bowl halftime show and the way that it was choreographed, the way the set was designed and how it flowed and the way that they shot it, from the camera aspect, it was pure cinema. It really was such a work of art. And it goes just even beyond Bad Bunny, who deserves obviously a lot of credit, but there's so many names that we don't know that were associated in putting together this spectacular of people who are experts at their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
I mean, props to the tree people too.
Yeah, dude, that
They
you had to
stayed
stand there
still.
and not dance during all that,
Right.
salsa and cumbia music.
Seriously,
It's-
they're like aching too. They're like, come on,
Yeah, dude.
I want to dance.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. We ate a whole lot of wings yesterday. The National Chicken Council's estimate was 1.5 billion wings.
That's it.
Hey, that's a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, and then you double that, that's 3 billion chickens.
Oof.
Nice.
Right? Because 2 wings per chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that would be a new record. Enough wings to circle the earth almost 3 times. Say the average Super Bowl spread costs about $14 per person, but that doesn't include beer. Right. Food and drinks at the game were a lot pricier this year. There was actually a video of the Hammer Burger. Did you see this? Let's see if I can pull that up for you real quick. It's a $180 burger that has a bone in it. And if I'm going to pay $180 for a burger, I'm going to want you to take the bone out for me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Here's the burger in question that you'll see on the podcast broadcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah. $180. Now, I did see the chef.
Damn.
The chef described this burger. It's like a blue cheese type sauce, right? With the patties. And of course, that big ass bone sticking in it, and they're like homemade bun. We're like, yeah, at this point, it's to be expected,
Right.
So yeah, that was $180. There was only 200 of them available. No word on if they sold out.
Wow.
The cheapest beer was $17.50, and bottled water cost $8. Right, so
I'm buying that burger. I'm making that a necklace,
Right.
like a wrapper, like
Yeah.
a status symbol.
yeah, I mean, and you eat it. It's like too big for your mouth. You grab it. At least you can grab the bone and kind of hold it like that. But that would fall off.
Of
The
course.
whole thing it's a work of art, but it's definitely not dinner. $180 too. It's like Jesus. I
Yeah.
wonder if they sold out of that. Like I said, 200 available.
Well, if you're already paying 10 grand for a ticket, I
Right.
think you'll be.
Yeah,
You'll
I
be
know.
fine.
I know. It's an elitist game for sure. Of course, Seattle won the game, but which city has the better coffee? That was a question because obviously Seattle is home of Starbucks and Boston, home of Dunkin' Donuts. So they did a blind taste test of Starbucks versus Dunkin', the New York Post did, and the winner is Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah, 43 staff members voted, 25 picked Starbucks. So I'm imagining there's a lot of females on their staff. And then finally, because men drink Dunkin'. we
That's
know
right.
that. And let's see, BuzzFeed did a big list of the best memes. One person posted a shot of Bad Bunny carrying a football during his halftime show and joked that he'd already gained more yards than the Patriots.
I love that.
And yeah, that's actually a really good meme. I'll share that with you here on the podcast broadcast as well. We'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We'll be back with the beef tip after these words. Rock 102.1 KFMA. I was going to tease the difference between extraterrestrial and interdimensional.
Yeah.
Which we do have a couple minutes on that because the year we did talk about this being the year disclosure is, like the experts keep saying that. And if you don't know what year disclosure means, it means this is the year that the government's going to say, hey, they're among us, right?
Right. We're
and-
actually reptiles.
yeah, for whatever reason, they believe that this would be the year for that big distraction or a revelation of sorts, right? But you were saying off air that the difference and the thing that would scare them most is not the exposure that there's extraterrestrial
Right.
life, but that there's interdimensional life.
Yeah. I mean, because extraterrestrial just means off planet, meaning coming from a different planet. Interdimensional, that's when you get into string theory, M theory, where there's basically a bunch of different dimensions layered on top of each other, and somehow these things, creatures, whatever you want to call them, different species, are able to phase in and out of different dimensions, and that's a big issue. I mean, because then you start going back into religion, and it just starts tearing apart lots of things that we've taken for granted for so long.
Right. Yeah. What are some of the benefits of being interdimensional?
Right. Well, imagine being able to phase in and out from Tucson to New York in a second.
Yeah.
You know. I mean,
They
that's
get
kind of
stabbed. You're like, damn it, wrong spot.
right. I mean,
Which place?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, dude.
right. Yeah,
True.
yeah. And there's like the plethora of different creatures and things possibly coming through and out there. It just destroys everything when people think of religion. God made us in his image, and what are these?
Right.
You know, everything outside of the Judeo-Christian pantheon was demonized, and so it just religious hysteria is one big problem.
That's what they were even saying, how terrifying it was with Project Bluebeam to put like holographs in the sky of like deities over certain regions to make them react.
Yeah.
And go crazy and
Yeah.
lose it. Yeah.
Now, Patrick said like multiverse theory, but it's not the same as multiverse, right?
No,
not even close.
This is different. No.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And so do you think, I mean, if in the year of disclosure that they would mention that or no?
I don't think so, because I think it would just be too hard for so many people to understand. I mean, it's just like we have with the Epstein files. I mean, this stuff is coming to light and people just, they don't want to know.
Right.
It just terrifies people so much. They just want to go to work, pay their taxes, and keep their head down.
And that's part of it. I mean, honestly, that would be the argument for the government or the powers that be to say, hey, we knew this information, but we didn't want to release this information because it would wreck your entire reality.
Exactly.
It would destroy you. And how are you going to get up and, work that 9 to 5 and keep on fucking your wife?
Seriously.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get that. I mean, for the record, though, I'd still fuck.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I mean, that
Plus, it would
information
destabilize the entire global economy. The global economy is the petrodollar.
Yeah.
If there's now a way to travel without the combustion engine, the whole global economy dies.
Well, there's, something that's even more closer to, what we've been seeing in our own reality. There was an MIT professor who recently got assassinated.
plasma. He's looking into plasma tech.
Fusion.
Fusion,
Fusion technology,
Cold
and then cold fusion to be able to, and which would eliminate the fossil fuel industry. And then all of a sudden, he just gets assassinated by the Brown University shooter.
That guy
separately,
that disappeared from the news kind of quick.
Super quick. And he was like right there, and they were like, about to start making like, presentations and talking about that. And it's very unfortunate too, which it seems like so realistic that you would completely destroy this industry. You would make the world a better place super easy for cheap, affordable, and it would benefit everyone.
But no, too many nuclear powers, especially Russia, they only exist because of the petrodollar.
Right.
I mean, their whole economy is petrodollar.
Right.
And that goes with the Middle East. You know, so you have all these people that are relying on this. You take that away, especially overnight, it's chaos.
I know.
They're all waiting for their bunkers to be finished.
Right.
And then they'll tell us.
Exactly.
Like, all right, we're safe. Guess what, everybody?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is an interesting comment on YouTube, but Americans calling U.S. America, is it imperialism or just a classic bad at geography trope?
Well, Bad Bunny just named every country in America, so that helped.
Yeah. And it was actually, I was a class. I'm like, oh yeah, good.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yesterday I learned that Puerto Rico is in fact part of the United States of America.
Territory. Yeah, cool as that.
And we would have them as a state, but we like the round number of 50.
50. Yeah. Rolls off the tongue now.
Thank you for joining the stream. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the show. But always a fascinating, fun time with Andrew. Andrew, we always look forward to you come back hanging out with us. We went down many rabbit holes, and we're really just scraping the surface. So I know that we're going to do this again, hopefully soon. Of course, people can visit you, Nexus Occult.
Nexus Occult Books and Oddities, 4865 East Speedway Boulevard. Visit us at online nexusoccult.com, and also check out occulttucson.com. That is a local resource for all the amazing stores in Tucson that are part of the New Age, occult, metaphysical, and oddity community.
I love that too. You're bringing them all together and like just helping each other out, dude. So I love it, dude. Well, thank you again for hanging out with us, and thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. All week long, we'll be giving you tickets for the Gem Show and Black Label Society. Be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. Till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When
this hour flew by.
So
fast.
Soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your